you're a professor of law. How could that be in this country? It sounds to me like cinder blocks were put on the scales of justice by the judge that wants an outcome. Am I wrong?
Well, it's not that I haven't seen anything like this. I haven't even read about anything like this. What I saw in that courtroom was really otherworldly. And, you know, I've really attempted to give the judge the benefit of doubt on many occasions. But what I saw today was, frankly, outrageous. At one point, the prosecutor actually said that Michael Cohen committed federal election violations upon the orders of Donald Trump. Now, Mershon has given an instruction that the jury is not supposed to attribute Cohen's plea deal as an issue of guilt towards Trump. So the defense objected, and Mershon just overruled it and allowed the prosecutor to repeatedly state that federal election violations by Trump are a fact and that there's not any dispute to that. And Mershon just sat there. He was as useful as a ficus plant in that courtroom. I kept on waiting, looking at him for some sign that he was even listening to some of these arguments. At one point, the prosecutor said that Hope Hicks burst into tears because she knew that she had destroyed any defense by Donald Trump. Really? How do you know that? At another point, the prosecutor basically started to testify and said that to catch and kill techniques are just not used in the media or politics, that this is beyond anything that the media or political groups have ever done. That's not in the record. He was giving testimony. There's no expert as to that. Hillary Clinton killed and planted cases in that very election. Some of the most outrageous hoaxes were perpetrated by the Hillary Clinton campaign with an enabling media. And in fact, many of those reporters listening helped the Hillary campaign do that. And so that's what was so otherworldly about today. And I can't imagine a jury member going into deliberations and not assuming that it is an established fact that federal election law violations have occurred in this case, because the Trump has allowed the prosecutors to say it dozens of times.
So you're saying that the jury now has been told dozens of times these payments were campaign violations. The judge let that false claim stand uncontradicted. Now, I don't know what to infer from that, because I agree with you that hearing that, and of course, when the defense tried to object, they were overruled almost every time until the end. They got, a bone thrown to them once or twice, probably because the judge was tired. But short of that, it was allowed to be stated as fact. Now, what does that mean, not just for the jury, but for the outcome, for a potential appeal if there was a conviction?
Well, some of what the prosecutor said, I hope the jury views as obviously ridiculous. And at one point, the prosecutor said that when Michael Cohen went into a bank to send a financial transaction and wrote something untrue, that Trump must have known that. Well, how many clients know how their attorneys frame a financial transfer in a bank? I mean, that's how really sort of overextended the prosecutors were. But the main problem here is still that the judge has allowed this erroneous assumption to be reinforced. There is no federal election contribution violation here. It is, and the judge stopped a legal expert who would have said that. And so when they go into that room, they're going to start with that proposition, and that's going to take them a long way. Now, does that mean that it's a lead pipe cinch for conviction? No. I think what it means is that the chances of an acquittal are diminishing to the point of vanishing. But I think there's still a chance of a hung jury. If any of these jurors just say, you know what, none of this holds together. I mean, you also had all these witnesses saying that, this designation was made by an antiquated drop-down menu that listed things as legal expenses. And where's Weiselberg? They keep on referring to this guy, but he's not being brought in. And when they quoted Trump in this closing argument, it was Cohen quoting Trump. So I'm hoping that one of these jurors or two are going to say, look, I think that we're being played for chumps here.